21 to 26 in 2022, dropping by 3 points in the West African region. This score ranged from 0 as highly corrupt to 100 as very clean, where 0 equals the highest level of perceived public sector corruption and 100 equals the lowest level of perceived public sector corruption. 180 countries were targeted in 2022 as in 2020 and 2021, according to the CPI 2022 report. Speaking in a press conference in Monrovia, the executive director of the Center for Transparency and Accountability in Liberia, Anderson Miamen, disclosed that Liberia is one of the biggest decliners on the CPI in the fight against corruption, dropping by a massive 15 points from 41 in 2012 to 26 in 2022. He said, Liberia now ranks 142 over 180 and remains further down the table, joining the list of countries significantly declining on the CBI in the world. Anderson Miamen said globally, with the exception of St. Lucia, which has dropped 16 points, only Liberia has fallen 15 points since 2012, and in West Africa Manon River Union, Liberia is the only country that has declined by 6 points over the last 5 years.
Rising public sector corruption in Liberia, as President Weah presides over Liberia's worst ever score or rating on the CPI. The Center for Transparency and Accountability in Liberia, Sackor, is pleased to release findings of Transparency International's Corruption Perception Index, CPR 2022. Since 1995, the Corruption Perception Index has been scoring and ranking countries based on how corrupt their public sectors are perceived, according to experts and business executives. The score ranges from 0, highly corrupt, to 100, very clean, whereby 0 equals the highest level of perceived public sector corruption and 100 equals lowest level of perceived, as in 2020 and 2021. The highest scoring region is Western Europe with an average of 60. The lowest scoring region is Sub-Saharan Africa with a score of 32. The 32 average score of Sub-Saharan Africa shows a bleak picture of inaction against corruption in the region, as governments are doing very little to deal with the culture of impunity. Regional highlights. A Sub-Saharan Africa average is 32, the lowest in the world. Some significant improvements over the last 2 years include Seychelles 70, Senegal 43, Ethiopia 32, Kenya 32, Cote d'Ivoire 36, and Angola 29. Meanwhile, countries at the bottom are characterized by widespread impunity for corruption, poor governance, and weak institutions.
Meanwhile, the Center for Transparency and Accountability recommends that President George Weah lead by example and pursue a sincere and holistic fight against corruption that does not protect certain individuals and groups accused and investigated for corruption, especially his confidants. Center recommends that public officials accused and investigated for corruption should be prosecuted and made to face the full width of the law.
Center is extremely concerned over Liberia's continuous poor performance, especially her place amongst the worst decliners globally. In part, this speaks to the Liberian government's inability to address entrenched culture of impunity by adequately funding public integrity institutions, fully enforcing existing anti-corruption laws, and